I didn't go to Starbucks. What are you talking about? You can't not go to Starbucks and get a pumpkin spice latte when it's spooky season. It's just, you have to. Hello, how is everybody doing? Ellie here with WhoCulture. Let's come back with some more positive things. The last video that I did talking to you was a little bit sad, a little bit negative, and it didn't make me very happy. So today I'm going to talk about some more positive things and do a little bit more of that good old speculating for the 60th. So one of the big questions that we have about the 60th anniversary specials is whether or not they will be multi-doctor stories. Now, nothing's actually been confirmed or denied. So we're just going to break that down a little bit, give you some of the evidence that we found and some of the reasons why we think that this is still going to be a multi-doctor story. But before we do get into any of that, I just want to say a big hello to the 73% of you who are not subscribed. Hello, how you doing? So first and foremost, the main reason we think this is a multi-doctor story is because it's already been proven in some capacity. I mean, the trailer that we saw literally immediately after The Power of the Doctor, we have David Tennant as the 14th Doctor and Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. There will be more than one Doctor in it in some capacity, even if it's only right at the very end when we see David Tennant regenerate into Ncuti Gatwa. But don't worry, we have more evidence to suggest that it's going to be more than just that, but we'll just take a quick look at the Ncuti Gatwa situation to start with. Now, we have spoken about this before. One of our theories for how Ncuti Gatwa is involved in these stories is that there is some sort of situation following on from The Power of the Doctor with those Guardians of the Edge, and the suggestion that his incarnation is kind of stuck there and isn't able to come forward because David Tennant's incarnation has somehow taken his spot. But if he is stuck there, it would be reasonable to assume that the other incarnations that we already have seen there would be there as well. So, we had the first Doctor there, we also had the 5th and the 6th Doctor, the 7th Doctor, we even had good old Paul McGann there as well. So are we going to see them again? Maybe. Then, if we listen to his only line in the trailer, will someone tell me what the hell is going on here? Who is he talking to? Now, he says, will someone tell me, not will you tell me, so that suggests more than one person in the vicinity, and if we are following that Guardians of the Edge speculation, then he's potentially talking to incarnations of himself. Also, to support that idea, we were informed earlier this year that the shot that we have seen of Ncuti Gatwa in the trailer has been lying to us because the background is actually a false background, because the real background to that shot is too spoilery. So where is he? Maybe Gallifrey, or is he amongst the Guardians of the Edge? I don't know. I'm just guessing like you. But isn't it fun to guess? Isn't it fun to just have a little bit of speculation? The outfit that he is wearing in that trailer very much looks like what David Tennant is also wearing in the episode. So whether this is immediately after 14 regenerates into 15 and he is remaining in the outfit, which is usually the case. I know that wasn't the case when we saw Jodie Whittaker regenerate into David Tennant, but generally speaking, for the modern audience anyway, the outfit doesn't change with the new incarnation. So this could be the case, or I have in my head various incarnations of the Doctor keep forcing their way through until the right one has emerged. And I think I've mentioned this before. All that I can think of whenever I think that this is the scenario is that scene in the Sarah Jane Adventures where the 11th Doctor is trying to switch bodies with Clyde. They keep changing and suddenly Clyde doesn't have his own hand, and I have this kind of situation in my mind as to a possible scenario that we see of the 15th Doctor trying to force his way to the front as the next incarnation, pushing past all the previous incarnations. So another thing, shortly after The Power of the Doctor aired, Chris Chibnall said that he didn't include any Doctors from the revival because he didn't want to interfere with anything happening in the 60th. I didn't want to tread on anything that might be happening in the future, so those ones, the classic Doctors, felt the right ones. Now, of course, he actually might not know anything, and he, just like us as a fan, was speculating that because it's a 60th anniversary, because it's an anniversary special, that it would therefore be a multi-Doctor story, and didn't want to tread on any toes if that was the case. We've all been speculating it's an anniversary special, so there's nothing to stop him from thinking that as well, even if he had no knowledge of it. Or He had the inside scoop, knew what the plan was, or at least what they hoped would be the case for the 60th, and just thought, you know what, I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to do my thing, and we'll let them do their thing, and we won't cause any more trouble. Speaking of quotes and things that people have said, there was an interesting thing that David Tennant said when he was at a convention in 2022. What I think is interesting about the fact that Catherine Tate and me have been filming, you see, because we were slightly unfortunate or fortunate in that we were filming some scenes that were in the public, so it had to be admitted that we were in it. So most of what's been filmed with other people has all been inside. So there is lots more coming than people think, which is very exciting. With other people. Who are those other people? Fair enough, those other people could literally be anyone. Characters that we haven't seen yet, or characters or actors who hadn't yet been revealed but have since been revealed. Or are we talking about that big old secret scene filled with all the previous incarnations? Considering this was a conversation had regarding the secrecy of filming, it would seem a bit odd for him to start talking about some random scene that they shot inside unless it was really, really secretive. I mean, the whole episode, or 3 episodes, are secretive in as much as you don't want to give away the plot. But this maybe feels like he's talking about something super duper secretive, such as every incarnation of the Doctor who is still alive and willing being in the same room. I mean, that's my thought anyway. What do you think? Are we clutching at straws, or are we onto something? And then, we've got the new sonic screwdriver. The new sonic screwdriver, which is basically just a mishmash of loads of different sonic screwdrivers that we've seen throughout the years of Doctor Who. Now, of course, that's the perfect thing to have for the 60th, because it shows all that combination of the show, but it also could mean more than that. I mean, if you look, we've discussed the new screwdriver in a previous video, but I mean, if you look at it, there's elements of the 11th Doctor's in there, the 9th and 10th Doctor's in there, even the 3rd and 4th Doctors. It's a complete hybrid of all the different sonic screwdriver designs. Now, we do know that the TARDIS and the screwdriver kind of regenerate with the Doctor. Not all the time, but they can do. So what if the new screwdriver, and perhaps the TARDIS, we don't know what the new TARDIS is going to look like, so the new TARDIS could also be a hybrid of previous TARDISes, but what if the screwdriver that gets created has somehow sensed or tapped into whatever has caused the Doctor to kind of fall back into a previous phase, and it's affected the screwdriver as well. So if the screwdriver is a mashup, a hybrid, then that also suggests that it's reading into the fact that the Doctor has become a hybrid, which again supports our theory that we're going to see lots of versions of the Doctor forcing their way through, and that this incarnation is a weird hybrid mashup of all of the previous incarnations. I like this idea. If this isn't what they do, I'm going to write into them and tell them, hey, next anniversary, I've got an idea for you. So we've also got something interesting that Russell T Davies said in Doctor Who magazine in February 2023 about the second special, Wild Blue Yonder, and this is what he said. There's an opening scene shot in the wide open air full of surprises which no fan or passerby saw, so it's still a lovely secret. What surprises, Russell? What are the surprises? I'm a little bit conflicted because on the one hand, I love a good surprise, and when something really, really catches me off guard and I didn't see it coming, I'm like, whoa, how did they pull that off? But at the same time, I'm really impatient and I don't like not knowing things, and so I don't know if I want to know the secrets or I don't want to know the secrets. But either way, it does feel like multiple Doctors in one place could very much be a very big surprise. So is this the scene he's referring to? So we also had Russell saying that he recruited 3 writers for some 60th related filming. That was back in July, I believe. And then in September, there was a 6-day studio shoot. 6 days of filming probably comes to roughly about 20 minutes of footage. So is this some sort of mini-sode series that we're going to get? Obviously we know that we've got the specials coming, but we've also been told some dates that are important, and I am wondering what we're going to see on the 23rd of November itself, and if this relates to perhaps these little extra mini-sodes that have been filmed. Again, we don't know if they're mini-sodes, we don't know what it is, but it was an inside studio shoot, so a very easy way to bring in some previous Doctors for some little tidbits that nobody would know anything about. While I do want to see more Doctors in there because it's kind of part of what makes an anniversary special so so great and so different and unique to the rest of the show, I want it to be different. I want them to try and face it from a different angle that we're not going to expect. We need to keep being surprised in order for the show to progress and keep us on our toes. So there's our reasons for thinking it's a multi-doctor story. Do you know what? It's very strange because I've been convinced it's going to be a multi-doctor story for quite some time. But the closer we get to it, the more I'm wondering whether it will or won't. But I'm very excited to find out, and we really don't have that long to wait. So exciting. Now, we have done lots and lots of discussions about various theories and information surrounding the 60th anniversary. So if you're interested, you could go and check out our dark theory about these specials. You know, it's spooky season, so let's follow suit and look at the dark theory that we have for the 60th. In the meantime, I've been Ellie with WhoCulture, and in the words of Riversong herself, goodbye, sweeties.